Hey, true believers, it's me, it's Colt, and if you're like me, you just finished episode 1 of the newest Disney Plus Marvel series, Loki, and yeah, pretty good I'd say. Alright, so if you're new to this, Loki takes place in Phase 4 of the MCU. It's the third Disney Plus series following WandaVision and following Falcon and the Winter Soldier. No, excuse me, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. It's better. If you ask me, Loki is, it's something special. It's shaping up to be, maybe the best one yet. In fact, I've already watched it, I'd say a disturbing amount of times. So I figured it's my civic duty to kind of share what I've learned, the breakdown, the Easter eggs, all that stuff. Obviously, there's going to be spoilers ahead. I think that's pretty obvious.
Glorious.
Alright, so there's a lot here to cover, but let's say we start at the very beginning. We start off with a scene in Endgame, which is showing us a scene in a different Avengers movie, all of which is about to lead into our new Loki show. With me so far? Alright, so as we see, Loki nabs the Tesseract, which contains the Space Infinity Stone, then he zaps away to Mongolia, only to get beaten up by the TVA and zapped away again. Now from there we arrive at the TVA. We see some other people being apprehended, including a Skrull, which is pretty exciting because if you can imagine a shapeshifter with time travel abilities, that's a show I'd probably watch. Shape-shifting and doing time crimes. Maybe that's too much. Alright, back to the TVA. So right now we're getting a lot thrown at us, a lot of new info. It's coming at you fast, but luckily we got Miss Minute with a nice 1930s looking animated video. Gives us a ton of exposition. We learn about the Time Keepers, who in Marvel Comics were created by He Who Remains of the TVA, after he made a more destructive version called the Time Twisters. So far in the show, they're keeping them pretty mysterious, but they do mention Nexus, which we last heard about in WandaVision. It's kind of fitting because there's an adventure story where the Time Keepers send Immortus to kill Scarlet Witch and stop her from having kids because she's too powerful of a Nexus being, at least in some of the timelines. By the way, Miss March, that's voiced by lovely voice actress Tara Strong. You know, Harley Quinn, Bubbles, Timmy Turner. So these Time Keepers are probably bad news. They're usually not great. And at one point, Loki calls them space lizards, which I don't think is a good thing most of the time. Alright, so let's skip over the whole Mephisto-esque tease with the prank gum in France. I think Marvel more or less confirmed that there will not be a Mephisto. Could be a red herring, but probably not. Alright, so let's move right along to the trial. Here we meet Ravonna Renslayer, who is often associated with Kang the Conqueror in the comics, who we're actually going to see in Ant-Man and the Wasp 3, played by Jonathan Majors. And we learn that she is seemingly the only character we've met that has contact with the Time Keepers. She gives us some paradox stuff about how Loki is bad when he do time crime, but the Avengers are fine when they do it, for reasons. I don't know, it's complicated. Anyhow, Agent Morbius shows up, and he volunteers Loki for a mission, so he takes him away before they could give him his time crime punishment. While Loki and Mobius are walking away, he does confirm the existence of a nightmare realm, which could involve Doctor Strange 2 villain, or at least rumored villain, Nightmare. Wouldn't that be nice? We then see Loki and Mobius kicking back and watching some of the old MCU films, kind of getting everyone caught up if you haven't watched all 30 of them. We see Mobius drinking a discontinued energy drink from 1995 called Josta. Must be pretty nice to pick things at a time like that. Look, he's got 2 cans. So watching Loki's Greatest Hits, we get some more confirmation that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is just not canon to the movies. It started out as it was all supposed to be set in the same world, and the shows referenced the movies, but that was never reciprocated. Not even a mention. I mean, Civil War was happening while they were having Inhumans pop up everywhere, and they didn't even get a mention. That would have been perfect ammo for the Sokovia Accords. But no. So now new interpretations are that the shows are all alternate timelines, but this now even seems to debunk that. That's pretty rough. I mean, I guess it doesn't explicitly say that they can't be connected, but if they're not going to do it now, then when? Alright, so back to the time crimes. We learn that Loki is D.B. Cooper, and that actually has nothing to do with time crime. Just regular crime. And it's just serves as a reminder that Loki is quite old. For For the rest of the episode, we got Loki doing Loki things, and we get a pretty great scene where Loki gets the wind sucked right out of his sails. A man who do not know what a fish is reveals that the Infinity Stones don't do junk in the TVA. And we get to see a full realization on Loki's face about, it's all for nothing. So to make himself feel better, he goes back to the room, watches his family and then himself die to cheer himself up. And this all leads up to the big reveal that they want him to help them hunt down a different variant of Loki who is probably even eviler. And he might be played by Richard E. Grant. Alright, that's our big reveal. Then we get the credits, which tell you that Loki is gender fluid, and reveal that Owen Wilson was Mobius the whole time. A great first episode, if you ask me, with a lot of potential for future episodes. The next 5 are going to be wild, I can just tell already. But let me know in the comments if you have any theories for the future of the show, or if you just have any notable things that I might have missed. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll stick all the plugs that I got in the description, and I hope to see you guys here next week for episode 2 of Loki.